How, are you gonna have people who want to get chickens, are they gonna have to register them?
Well, that would be up to the council and the citizens. My recommendation, based off other, communities, is $25 to register your chickens.
Yeah, but are you gonna have a leg tag? I don't know whose chickens got loosened in my yard if they don't have a leg tag.
I don't think that as a community, we really need to go that far. I mean, to start tagging our chickens or our cats or our dogs.
Tags on dogs and cats.
Well, yeah, but they're not, well, we're not doing it. We're not doing that. So, do we want to become a community where we are constantly telling on our neighbors and
We already are.
I don't want to see people getting fined. I want a neighbor to be able to call a neighbor and say, look, your cat is sitting on my lawn furniture, and if it doesn't get fixed, then go there. Try to work it out with your neighbor first before we start calling the police. We have issues in this town bigger than dogs, cats, and chickens. Yeah, I mean, we really do. We do. I mean, and as a community, can we say that we can control this?
Now, Candy, not all neighbors are nice. I ain't afraid to go across the street and say something to my neighbor. I did. The dog come in my yard. I said, just like I'm sitting there, walking right up to me. I said, you better get your dog. And when Woodsworth changed from my chair to the road, but she come got a dog.
Well, I mean, I don't know, maybe your approach wasn't the best. I mean, I don't know
What
what
am I supposed to do? I just sit in my chair.
say.
I'm just saying.
You know what I'm
just
saying?
saying.
I mean,
That is you're
I
right.
understand, I mean, I totally understand that, but I don't really think that chickens in this community is gonna change us to a felony state, to a felony, it doesn't matter. I know.
They were shot windows in my house.
Yeah, definitely
I
need
don't think I
police.
can go to them.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, Ricky.
Rick's got-
Ricky.
Apparently in 1991, enough people felt strongly enough against it that an ordinance was written. So can you explain why they wrote the ordinance to begin with?
What issue?
Chickens
There's
in
no
general.
member, there's no council here that was here in 91.
My thing on that is, do we wanna stay stagnant from 1991? Do we ever want to
No, but
change
there's a reason.
things?
I just wanna know, why did they write it originally?
Well, Barb
Apparently they
Coughlin was
don't-
on here for many years, and a year ago, she said absolutely not. She did not want chickens around, and she would vote against it, is
Well,
what Barb said.
and I get, I
And
mean,
you brought it up at that meeting, Candy.
yes, I did, but I've never brought it to the community. It's clearly in the minutes, but I have never brought it in front of a mayor. Don Dust never had a health meeting. It has never went in front of a committee with me sitting on it. Never. Now that's the facts.
It seems personal.
So,
Yeah,
It seems personal.
very
It seems
I
real
think,
personal.
I mean, it does, but it's not on Candy why it seems personal.
No, I'm not
It's
saying
been
on
very
Candy. I
obvious
think
that
it's
it is
personal
very personal.
to each person that wants chickens. It's personal to them. I still haven't got a good answer on why it's good for the community.
I think that I presented, I think I
4-H?
presented my case.
We've had those clubs in this town forever, and they got by just fine without having chickens in town.
But do you wanna just get
There's
by?
many people that want it, and usually when there's people who voice an opinion for wanting something, that tends to be good for the community, because that's what a lot of people want.
Well, with the
Yeah,
world
that's
how
what
it is
it's-
today, wouldn't you rather be more self-sufficient in your backyard chickens if you can't go to the grocery store or eggs end up being $10 a dozen? Wouldn't you rather go out in your backyard or your neighbors or your community and get eggs and chicken? Or how is the world today? What is the economy like in this world?
Has that been an option, like to do, there's community gardens?
But shouldn't we be more self-sufficient in the community garden? You're right.
A community garden, you could have.
Chickens, community garden, any of that, yeah.
Put that on the old football field.
From chickens too, also, you know, a family of two, if I had 4 chickens, if I had 5 chickens, I have a lot of eggs. I'm kind of particular about the eggs, so like if I'm doing scrambled eggs, I'm gonna buy store eggs because I don't wanna mess my good eggs up. So, yeah, so you could be nice to your neighbors and help your neighbors out. Maybe you donate them to the food pantry if it's a donation, if it's legal. you know, I mean, there's,
Or if people wanna kill their chickens and eat them, they have that opportunity.
I have a question. Are you gonna limit the number of people that can get chicken licenses? Because if every one of us in here got a chicken license or chickens, the whole town would be a lot of chickens.
I don't want chickens.
from the comments that I'm getting, I think that it will be a pretty small majority of backyard chicken, farmers.
But would you put a cap on it?
But would you consider
We
that?
can,
We
I mean,
can.
I'm open to it, you know, I mean, we appear to have caps on like liquor licenses, gaming licenses, things like that, so, no, most definitely I am, I'm definitely open
Yeah,
to
I'm
it.
not saying
anything-
you would need to do that, but it might be good just for.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's something that can be addressed with the rest of the aldermen, to do that.
Somebody would go inspect them? Or
Well,
is it just gonna be, oh yeah, I got them and I did met the requirements? Is somebody actually going to go do a inspection of each?
well, I thought about that, and I would not want our police department to have to do
No,
that.
that's way too much.
And so, I would be willing to volunteer, not that I'm a chicken expert, but I would be willing to volunteer for free to help somebody start a flock, to, work with the mayor on ordinances on, you know, is your coop the right size, and whatever we decide, whatever, you know, the community decides, is the right number, but, I'm more than willing to help the community out with that. Well, I don't know that it needs to be inspected unless we have an issue.
Then how do you go?
I mean, it's-
that I like that.
Well,
Because anybody can put up any kind of lot of job, come on now, and that's.
I mean, I don't know, I mean,
I mean, that's something for the council we can work on.
it's
I
definitely,
mean, it's
they're
something to
nice
talk about.
DIY projects. I mean,
Yeah.
people don't,
You can buy pre-made chicken coops for about $1,000. It would be more than sufficient for 4 to 5 birds pretty readily.
that's $1,000 though. You can buy
Oh, I
one
know.
right, you can buy one right now, at Rule King, that holds one chicken for $249.
Is
Now,
that cheap now?
no, that's not cheap. $249 for a one chicken coop? That's pretty pricey. I mean, we have people that can't, you know, that struggle paying bills, let alone. So we're not going to have this,
If you struggle to pay a bill, you do that.
Okay.
so I'm just asking the community to maybe do some of your research. I've had chickens before and as a young child. We did not experience these traumatic issues.
Sir.
Okay, since time's up, so what's our
Well,
next step? So if we have questions, issues,
But,
you
okay.
have another meeting.
Yeah, so this is, I'm gonna give everybody the opportunity to talk, to
Okay.
do their research. So then, at the council meeting, which will be on, April 6th,
Okay,
it's up, I'm gonna put it on the agenda for just discussion. So then therefore, all of the aldermen are there, along with the city attorney, and he can kind of give some input as well, because I don't know if any of his communities have chickens or not, it's something I have to ask him. And then, I'm going to tell him to write up the ordinance as per what we like. And, it has to be published, I'm gonna make it electronically available, and even available at the city hall, so that it can be inspected from, let's say, on Friday, all the way up to at least 6:30 on that Monday, April the 11th, for us to vote. So everybody will have time to look at it, to read it, know what's in it, and go from
That'll
there.
be published in the papers also.
We probably won't have time for that. I mean,
Not everybody has computers.
well, it would be publicly available at
How
City
we gonna know
Hall.
it's up there?
Well, we'll post it on one of the front tabs of the website. Well, maybe we'll just post it up on the window. I mean, we'll just do that too. So. Alright. Okay, you good?
I have one more question, you're the chicken lady, so.
As long as it doesn't say crazy chicken.
So I
chicken wings, I'm
read
good.
somewhere that the chickens will squawk until they lay an egg. Is that true, that they squawk a lot? When everybody, all the chickens squawk when one lays an egg?
Is what I noticed is it's not a squawk, it's a gurgle. So they're, and I'm not even gonna try and imitate, that chicken, but it is more of a gurgle, and
It's a lot quieter than a dog or.
yeah.
Well, they say that, I remember chickens are.
Well, I've raised enough chickens to know the fact that the noise, some make noise, some don't, some just make noise to make noise. Dogs bark to bark, sometimes they got something they're barking at, it doesn't seem to make a difference.
I actually, I believe me and my grandson actually witnessed, the chicken laying an egg, one of our barred rocks, and I think it's how you say it, B-A-R-R-E-D, it's the black and white, chickens. And that hen did not do that. Now, I'm at work, so most generally, we don't get to experience, seeing the chicken lay their eggs, but I haven't experienced that. Is there a certain breed of a chicken that could squawk more than others? I can only speak for the Americanas, which are considered your Easter egg layers. They lay colored eggs. I can speak for Barred Rocks and Rhode Island Reds. Those are the ones that I have had past experiences with.
All right, is there anybody else? We need to wrap it up.
I noticed in a lot of the ordinances where they were required to have the Gallus chicken. Do you know anything about that?
I didn't hear you.
Gallus chickens?
I think it's a fowl, right? It's a Gallus is a fowl.
A lot of the ordinances required them to have that particular chicken in order to have them in town.
I believe that it's so that it doesn't get into the ducks and it doesn't get into the quail, and don't quote me on that, but it is a Gallus, if that's how it's pronounced.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, I wanna make sure I understand this, I'm not trying to be mean.
Okay.
Okay, so tonight was this meeting for it, okay. So then, you said you're gonna make the ordinance, and you're gonna present that ordinance at the regular meeting?
No, it would be at the
And
special
the special meeting, but, okay, but shouldn't the ordinance be written before the special meeting?
Well, it'll be written, basically, it would be written at the council meeting.
At the regular meeting?
Yes, so you'll kind of have a basic idea of what is going to happen. It's just when the attorney will physically write it up, I'm going to tell for the 11th, to have it done at least by the 8th. I figure give him the full day on Thursday to get it done.
Okay.
He'll probably have it done before then.
So, is the ordinance going to say up to 4 chickens and then decide, like
Yeah.
what you wrote in
My
that?
proposal is up to 6.
But is that what everyone's, like,
Well, I don't know
you guys
yet.
need
Yeah,
to-
that's what the
do-
rest of the discussion will kind of be about. So I know like on other animals, like dogs, cats, we have 5. So I personally, I would say 5 to make it consistent with all other animals.
And then I would encourage you, just like we, posted on Facebook, reach out to your alderman, reach out to the mayor and say, okay, what about if they go from 6 to 4? What about, and throw some suggestions out there.
And
this is
people
just
have,
my baseline.
On both sides of the issue. Me at least.
So that's what the original ordinance is gonna state, what was written in that. Unless you guys change your mind at the regular meeting.
Plus more, like, so the food storage and things like that needed to be,
Added into it.
yeah, added into it. So this was just the baseline.
basics.
There's gonna be a lot more smaller details in there. And of course, that would be up to the up to the council of,
So if it doesn't make the recommendation tonight, then it doesn't get put on the agenda?
Well, we can ask for a vote to send it to that full agenda on the 11th. If you want.
on the 6th.
Well, I don't think you can vote.
Well, you really can't, no. But what I'm kind of getting at, we can take a straw poll. I think that it's best to go ahead. If the aldermen don't want chickens, they can kill it at the 11th, on April the 11th. This is how I would do it. I just want it to where everybody has an opportunity to voice their opinion. Because I can't make this meeting. So it's like gives them another time to come and talk, and then it gives them another time to talk. So I don't want it to where it's like I never got to see the ordinance, I never got a chance to talk, and things like that. So that's why I'm doing it like that. And Candy agreed with me, along with Gary and Celine, because I told them prior to tonight That's my plan.
You guys talked about posting it in the window, then what you have
Well,
written?
we
And
can,
would you put that on social media as well? Of
we
like what-
can, yes.
Because I think a lot of people see the social media stuff
I know.
that probably don't go to the,
Well, I'm just saying because it was brought up that people don't have a computer.
no, I
Things
get
like
that,
that.
no,
So,
it's
yeah.
probably happen to happen town.
It is,
Yeah.
you're right.
Could you put that on the ballot for everybody to vote when they go vote?
It's really not a referendum, I believe. No, I'm serious. I mean,
No, yes or no, I mean, that's all you gotta vote for.
I don't think you can.
It has to be a
It has to be like a
referendum, not a ballot.
referendum, you know.
Good try.
That's a good question, Herbie.
I actually asked the same question.
You did.
No.
I'm not trying to be the voice of the community, I'm trying to be a voice for the community and with the
Yeah,
community.
because there is people on both sides. There is, as you well know, in this room.
People in our ward don't.
All right, is there anything else? Anything else? All right, we'll adjourn. Let's go.